Let there be light, and there was light. Okay, so I have been talking about the said God. In fact, yeah, I think I'm going to really have to call this the red and blue pill of Mother Eve. Mother Eve is really wanting us to take, to understand whether we take the red pill or the blue pill. And in Mother Eve's case, perhaps I think where we're at now is that we are expected to have taken the red pill, and that now we are dealing with the blue pill. Because although they may not have um, expounded on the significance of the blue pill in the Matrix, for instance, but the blue pill in Mother Eve's case, now we are talking about the voice, we are talking about the waves, that vibration, we are talking about the current frequencies that surrounds us. So we are talking about sound, we are talking about vibration, frequency, words, the presence or presence of Mother Eve. And of course, that's what the serpent, after having climbed the tree of good and evil, of course, this is the fruit it has bore. So it depends on how you want to look at it, but this we are talking about perhaps with the voices that we are sending out those vibrations to return back to. It's like planting your seeds again, because the words and the current, which is like water, um which is like water, it's really the serpent that was in the Garden of Eden when or being present. As I say, being present is really that if you encountered a serpent, you would not just sit around, and even if you're playing with it, even if you happen to be playing with it, but you are engaging with it, you are being present. When you are looking at its behavior, you are being present at that stage. So that's what the serpent calls us to do, to be present, because it actually is that a present. It is a gift to us. And that's what Mother Eve keeps calling us to understand. I want you to understand that I am the gift of life, if you like. So when people are talking about satanic rituals, and I don't know the extent of this goes to, but that's where there is an imbalance, you could say, because Mother Eve at that stage of the number 8, which comes into the red, because it comes 8, red is 9, it's actually 9, but we'll see how it comes to 9. So we are talking about 954, adding this together is 1 to 18, but it's the 8 that shows up here that we are talking about, this number 8, 1 to 8. So Mother Eve is really like wanting to teach us how this 8 is gets function. As we say the word 8, it actually is the word et, after past tense of the word eat. And so we can see how the similarities or the sound vibrations are connected there. When we do the numerical value for the word 8, as in figure 8, it gives us the number 4, which I won't do now, but it's 4, and I believe it's actually 31. So that is also giving us as 31. As I mentioned before, it is reflecting the B symbol. So let's do it anyway. So EIGHT, this is 28795. Adding this together, this is 10, this is 26, plus 5 is 31. So 31, we can see 8 here. Having 8 or 8, it equals 4, but the symbol itself is telling us that it can form that bond. It's in the cycle. When the 8 is going through the motion of birthing into number 9, there is an agreement or a bonding that takes place there. That means the 1 is the movement is coming here, it's getting here, it's forming a bond. This is where Christ was with the 13 disciples. There's the agreement, because with every movement, everything that takes place, there is a form of agreement for that that entails that movement for it to occur. All right, so we can see blue. This is where we see now how blue is connected with 8, or how blue is connected with red. Because everything, like Emmett Fox say, nothing comes into your consciousness unless it finds something like itself on which to attach itself to. So we can see that the B here, which the letter blue, or the numerical vibration of 13, that which it is, also is reflected here in 13. And so that there is a relationship here. Of course, it also equals 4. 8 is 31 equals 4, just like the number 13 equals blue equals 13, and that 2 is also 4. So we can see the relationship here. However, when we add 1 plus 8, that gives us 9, and of course 9 is 24. 2 plus 4, 9 is 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. Now again, another way of reading the number 24 is that it is like telling us there are 2 sets of 4s in that 8. 2, 4. It's like saying 2, there are 2 4s right there. So 2 4s is 8. Okay. Now, what I want to clarify here now is that so basically we see that like on the last video I did, which I feel I'm going to perhaps term it, or because I've got a heading on it, which I just put it on there just to process it, but I've got can Satan really help, but I feel I'm going to change it. I don't want to scare people. Yeah. So I feel that it's there is so much more that I could get from the content to have a heading that is also appropriate without frightening someone off, and allowing them to assimilate the content there if they so choose. So I was looking at the words snake and Eve and so on, and all where Mother Eve is actually 5. And of course, I was also seeing that I've been talking about the blue and the red chakras, where I felt Mother Eve was very instrumental. So because Mother Eve is actually beginning and end right there. Why we say beginning and end? Because the word beginning is 9 and the word end is 5. And when we add these together, it gives us 14, and 1 plus 4, which is Eve, 1 plus 4 gives us 5. So we can see again how Mother Eve is very instrumental right there in this 5 and 9. And so I am looking at the fifth chakra and the well, I say the 9th. I was thinking the 9, the base. So look, mainly, perhaps I should say mainly, that's what Mother Eve is really looking at when I say the 5th. I suppose I could say the number 9, meaning 9 is beginning, of course. So in that sense, 9 would be the base chakra. This is where we continue with 9 is beginning, and of course 5 is ending. This is where we are ending the process. This is where we are finding our voice. Once we have found our voice, so to speak, it seems like we can demand whatever it is, call whatever it is into being. That's what we are required to do. Call, we are able to say, yeah, you shall not surely die, or whatever it is. So we are able to use that vibration. That's what Mother Eve wants us to do. Okay, so I'm looking at, we have the red, we have orange, and we have yellow, we have green, and we have the blue chakras. So there's 5 chakras here again. So we see how we are dealing with our basic needs with the red chakra, sex and shelter and all these things that we need. We are dealing with the reproductive system on the orange, the yellow, the creative the sacral, is it? Yeah, so our creativity comes through the yellow, and our green is the heart, and the blue is the fruit, the voice. So there we see again. In fact, what I will do quickly is to have a numerical sum to see what number is going to come here, and I'm believing it's something that we can deal very much with Mother Eve. So we already done blue is 4, which is 13. Let's just do it like this because it's nice to see 13, because we've been talking about 13. Green is 31, and yellow is 11. Orange is 33. I've done this before, and I'm hoping, okay, you probably would really want to see how this is being done. In case you're all new to this, let's just go through this. So we are talking about blue. Okay, this is not very clear. So blue. It's a funny blue, it's red. Blue, green, doing it too close. Green, yellow, orange, and red. Okay. See if I've got this. Okay, so we have 2, 3, 3, 5. When we add this together, this is 8, and 5 is 13. So we have 13. Oh, I don't know, my pens are okay. I'll have to stick to the red one for now till I get another one. 13, and this is 7, 9, 5, 5, 5. So 10, this is 24, and 7 is 31. 31. Yellow is 7, 5, 3, 3, 6, 5. Adding this together, 5 plus 9, 14, plus 3, 17. 5 is 22, plus 7 is 29. 2 plus 9 is 11. Okay, 29. Orange is 6, 9, 1, 5, 7, 5. Adding this together, 10, 17, 27 plus 3 is 33. So if we add this together, this is 10 plus 6 is 16, so this is 6. Let's see, did I say the 10 plus 3 here, 13 plus 3, 16. Okay, and 1 plus 4, 3 is 4, plus 2, 6, and 4, 10. So 106. Interesting. So there we have 106. Of course, 1 plus 6 is 7. This is where the serpent comes in. So the serpent is really that which is necessary to climb through the, of course, coinciding with the 7 chakras, although we are talking about 6 chakras right here, but it carries that vibration of 7. Okay. That's the serpent, because of course that's what we have associated with the Kundalini rise. Okay. I feel that's what I really wanted to say with Mother Eve on this points. I feel the presentation that I've just completed, which I am not quite sure how I'm going to term it yet, in case you're watching this one before the one after. But it's really given us quite a close description about Mother Eve, about Mother Eve's nature. It's that because we feel when we hear of Satan, it's all evil. We don't want anything to do with Satan. And so we are able to see from this presentation how the wisdom of Mother Eve has come through, even in that presentation. And it's not to deceive, as we will say, it is to enlighten, because that's what happens when we are faced with Mother Eve. Mother Eve really wants us to see and understand and assimilate the wisdom that she's giving us. Okay, now there is I'm going to do more videos on really the position of the gods, and those positions of the gods, how they are positioned in Genesis, the verses. I have been looking at that, and I have been seeing the correlations of the numbers in the positions of the verses, how they show up, and what messages are being conveyed there. So what I have also done, and I'm hoping Mother Eve is going to grant me the wisdom to be able to convey or deliver this the list of the gods. So I was concerned about how Genesis chapter 1 had 14 gods, and Genesis chapter 2, of course, had 5 gods. No, Genesis chapter 1 has 9 gods, and Genesis chapter 2 has 5 gods. So of course we know 5 really is quite symbolic. And of course we have 5 fingers, 5 senses, 5 circles to our face, 5 oceans, 5 continents, 5 Mother Eve is in 5 in everything, the 5-pointed star, and so on. There is a lot going on with 5 toes and so on. So we have seen those. I wanted to understand, looking at our physiological structure, how those 5 really marry as gods with the 9 other gods. And of course we see that they also go with the 9 planets very well too. So and 9, as I say, also coincides with the 9 the 9 circles or openings, we should say, to the body. So if we check the openings to our bodies, we'll see that there are 9. However, there are 10 openings to the female, which coincides with the understanding Mother Eve has given, that the male has 90% water and the female is of 100% water. Now what I can only conclude, that whatever else that is not really seen or perceived as water is water, but it is a transformed aspect of water that perhaps has not been identified. It has not been identified as water. It has not been measured by scientists as water, but it is water, because it also means, if we even look at the study of Masaru Emoto. I've got his name up there because I really wanted to remember his name. That the experiment of speaking or praying in the water with lovely words, and to see how the water takes effect so beautiful in a beautiful flower when positive words are spoken, and how it looks muddy in the um, in another experiment when it's cursed and so on. That means that we can conclude that that's what happens when we speak negative into someone else or positive into someone else, that it correlates. But there have to be a relation. Nothing, again, there cannot be a connection if for instance water cannot really have a relationship with something else that has nothing like itself on which to attach itself to. Words of Emmett Fox. So there must be something like itself. It has to find that attribute like itself on which to attach itself to. So basically, that other aspect that it finds is also water, or an attribute of water, however we want to term it. So that's why I am believing really that Mother Eve is, again, not believe, just believing. We have done enough presentations and references to see that Mother Eve is the waters. So the divine feminine, as female, we bear the symbol of that 100% water. Now that's why it is so important that we pay attention to what we take in, because what we take in then becomes a representation of that which find itself have something like itself within us on which to attach itself to. So if we want to transform into that beautiful flower, then we need to be putting in things within us that would add to that aspect of ourselves, and slowly transform, or speedily to transform into that beautiful flower. Hence, perhaps that's why that aspect of that opening down below that we have is also might be where very close to what one would is termed like deflowering. So before a woman has is being penetrated for the first time, the first time is termed deflowering. I don't know how often this is, how widely this term is used, but I know it is used on the island of St. Lucia, where I come from. Okay, where I grew up. And so basically this is also a symbol. I believe it's a symbol of Mother Eve's way of teaching us, and that coincides with King Solomon's Songs of Solomon or Proverbs, where the mother or the father, whoever, is always cautioning the son. The son is the one always and often being cautioned, because actually he probably he is the one with the responsibility to learn of the wisdom, because the female is representing the wisdom right there. Now, of course, the beautiful thing that I like and that gave me much comfort in the teachings of Christ: when you are in Christ, there is no male nor female. So basically you are one, just like in the figure. So when you are in Christ, there is no male nor female, but this is just saying you are really the right here, because you are part of the whole of five. You are the 5-pointed star. Now I just get an indication or the idea that I should add these together, coming here 5, 6, 7, 8, because I feel that's where Mother Eve's attention is being now. So adding these together, in fact, I did something where I saw Mother Eve is really from 5 to 8, like I said before, and I think, and that is what I really need to concentrate on. So this would be 21. This is really 26 right here. So I have just seen this. When we add 5 plus 6 is 11. Of course, 11 plus 15. So that is 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. So this is where Mother Eve is really in this IFIC, IFIC state right here. This is where Mother Eve is really dealing with us. Here from 1 to 4, of course, when we add this together, this is why I said before we are doing Adam. We are doing Adam right there. And this is where you are doing your jazz, your bucket, agreements, whatever you are doing, luck, you are doing developmental stage, everything is happening there. And that's where they were at, we could say, in the garden, where everything was happening. But coming to the 4, knowing your north, south, east, and west, which was what was required of them, of the couple then, because life had become boring. They needed to develop, they needed to grow, they needed to understand what it meant when they were told to go and multiply, be fruitful, subdue, replenish, and take dominion, have dominion on the earth. They wanted to understand that, and to have understood this, they had to explore their north, south, east, and west, and that is talking about the body, or the brain, or your soul, or whatever it is, or your environment. And that's what happened. So with that whole exploration, of course, this is where number 5, of course, comes in to say, well, you shall not surely die. You have explored this, you have done all that, you shall not surely die, meaning you will die of this state here from 1 to 4. You will die of that, but you shall not surely die. You'll be like the gods. This is from this stage of 5. This is when, of course, whatever had taken place afterwards, when God had to say, behold, the man have become like us. Again, this very text is talking, the man have become like us. It wasn't, behold, the woman have become like us. I think there is so much from this text to really again highlight the essence that the woman is the well of wisdom in that sense, but she had taken on the position of ignorance, if you like, by and of course that is why again she was sharing the wisdom with Adam and saying, well, if you eat of the fruit, you won't surely die. You will be like God, you know. And of course, we see that that statement was made from God, saying, now behold, the man have become like us, or lest he eat of the fruit of life, he'll become like us, whatever it is. So basically, that is saying that the level of wisdom that was being concerned with, or that was being developed, well, the concern was only with Adam and not Eve. Now, Eve, of course, having that well of wisdom, was wise enough to be cast to the ground. However, because this is God playing different roles of God, just like God is playing different roles within us now, there was God playing roles of the God and the serpent, or the gods and the serpent, and being cast to the ground to teach one how to be grounded, lie on your belly. This is why we see children, babies, lie on their belly to crawl. There is no difference in our developmental stage if we to that of a child growing, a child's development, a child being birthed and being able to be an adult. So it's important that we pay attention to the developmental stages, or even in our spiritual development, more so in our spiritual development, that we are not just staying at one level and thinking, okay, we were given the lie, which was that where when you crawl on your belly. But how about when you, of course, we know we sweat, like when, of course, we learn that Adam was given the punishment, or that's what we learn, a punishment of that you, by the sweat of thy brow thou shalt live. And of course the female would have to bear child, and in sorrow. And the word again, Mother Eve has told us about sorrow. It's like sow in rows, meaning, and you, it's like, because they're talking about the corn, the garden, you sow things in rows. This is the word sorrow. Yeah, and you basically, you, when you are a gardener and you sow in your corn in rows, then it makes it easier for when the harvesting time comes, you are able to go in the rows and pick your corn. There is so much more that we need to be understanding about this story of Adam and Eve. So basically, I was just really wanting to explore so much or more on Mother Eve. There is more on Mother Eve. Talking of Mother Eve, in case you are new, this is the template. Please watch the video on an introduction to Crime a Queen. You will get a very close insight to the makeup of this. Now that reminds me as well, it is on that very video as well that I explained the dynamics, or what was taking place when we were doing this introduction to Crime a Queen. So I was able to manipulate the letters all here on this side, but for some reason it's like, as I continue to say, it's like an invisible force was holding my hand right there from new. I could not temper with these words here or letters, and it just, well, I just couldn't. This is where when you are in tune or in flow, you sense that the spirit is working through you. And of course we are of spirit, and it's important that we get that understanding of how the spirit operates in us. So I could manipulate these letters here, the jazz. In fact, that's exactly what I was doing. I was doing jazz right here. I was doing an agreement here. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to be having my own input, my own take. There was an agreement happening there. I was trying my luck with whatever was happening. I was again manipulating this 3, because there's the W. 3 is W, it is the M, it is also E. So I was very instrumental here in that 3. With the number 4, again, I was manipulating which end or how I wanted to make sense of my north, south, east, and west right here in the developmental stage. That got me into a new, of course, a new section. In that new section, of all my abilities and creativity to manipulate this section, I was able to bring part of myself into this new. Hence, the word, the letter N, the letters N and E had been swapped, but W had to remain intact right there, because again, it is foundational in that new. It's like saying, no matter what you do, you have no authority to deal with that W, which of course the W, it is like the template. It serves as a template of who we are, or the divine orchestration that has taken place, and it bears the value, the numerical value of 5. The W also reminds me of the saw god, the jigsaw, the W, the M, the 3, and so on. So, which of course the E does the same thing, the letter E does the same thing. So I was permitted to move the E and the N. The N, of course, is one that has a degree of modification, because it can also be, so like the W can be all this. So W, okay. So W can be this. I do it in the actual capital so we could see what it is. But if it were a softer edge, but I'm talking about the saw god, I see Kim there. And the N, the letter N, is also one that can be manipulated, because the N in itself is also a Z, which also has the numerical value of 8. So basically N and Z is really, there's a relationship here. So we can see 5 and 8, of course, is 13. And this is what we mean. So in N is there is Mother Eve being very present there. So back to this hair, we see that as I say, I had no inclination to tamper with this section here, and that's Mother Eve right there, as we have been exploring, showing her power. Hence the word power is also 5. Her word, the power from here to 8. Of course, the inland revenue. This is where I think we shed our skin. Our skin is being shed here. Thank you. It's being shed here, the inland revenue. You are a new skin, and that's why, because in the headquarters zone, you pay your dues. This is where you have shed. And on number 9, as I say, you are beginning this newness. So right now we are, should I say, we are in the 5th dimension, but we are also in a new state of that dimension. So the new state we are in, of course, which is the 8th phase, and I have shown how 8 also and 9 have a relationship. So we are in an 8th phase, like my blouse that I bought, that has the label for the 8th phase. So just before my birthday, I had this blouse that I bought. Of course, as I talked about, this blue, that the blue top that I bought as well was like an expression or declaration of my acceptance of my voice being open. And the blouse that I bought, which has a label, said for the 8th, EIGHT, 8th phase, PHASE. It'd be interesting to do the numerical values for all this. I will not go through all the letters, but I just know the words. So this is 4 is actually 6. I'll just do 4 to be 9 and 9, 18. So okay, let's just do this one. 9. So this is 15, this is 21. So 4 is 3, the is 6, 8 is 4, and phase, let's do phase, which is 7, 8, 1, 1, 5. Adding this together, this is 6, 7, 7 and 7, 14, plus 8 is 22. 22, 2 plus 2 is 4. So we have another 4 here. So this is 10, 14, and 14 plus 3 is 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. Now, I am saying this here, I was curious to do this. 1 plus 7 is 8. And isn't that, I mean, this is really, I'm doing this intuitively, as I continue to say. So I bought this blouse. I bought a blouse which has on it for the 8th phase. That's what it is called in essence, for the 8th phase on the label. And of course I knew I'm entering an 8th phase through this and I've known this only through the series of presentations I've been doing. So we have ended, as I say, with Mother Eve's teaching and intuition, and of course that which is corresponding to the scriptures. And then of course I go in meditation on things that I'm not clear about. Mother Eve has said that we ended a 7,000-year cycle, and now we are entering into a 7-year cycle. And this 7-year cycle of course started on the 15th of May. Now 15th of May, because it's my birthday, I sort of got very excited about that. It was few days before, I think it would be before my birthday, that I went out and I was just seeing blue all around me. Of course, paying attention and asking questions to my guide and spirit, I realized that of all the colors that I wear, I had nothing blue, like electric blue, apart from blue jeans. Also in my, and I do have this blue necklace, which has a hint of silver, and that would be about it. And also I noticed after some time the light would reflect a blue on the frame of my glasses. Now that's interesting. I have blue, maybe, I don't know, you might be able to see on the frame of my glasses, but on the lens it's actually green. So there I am, 4 plus 4, they're all 4, there's 8. I am seeing the 8, of course the glasses shaping like the figure 8. But when I went out, I realized seeing blue all around me was that I needed to make a conscious choice to really embrace blue. And so it was electric blue. I was seeing people together walking along side by side, and finding out they're not really together, but the colors, they were in sync. It's like two people just walking along, they don't know each other, but they're wearing the same shade of electric blue. And I was thinking, well, I got a lot of that, and the message was clear that I really have to embrace blue. And it was along the same time I got this blouse, which for the 8th phase. Now I am doing the, as you can see, I've just done the numerical value for the 8th phase, and it actually equals 17, which is my, actually, if I did my date of birth, it would come to the number 17, which means my life path number is also 8. And directly 17 in the same format. This is really synchronicity. This is really wonderful. And well, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Okay, so these are things Mother Eve really wants us to understand. And I won't go too much. Oh, there was something I wanted to add on. Having seen Adam, one of the things Mother Eve really wants us to do, because I didn't get to cover that in the other presentation, she really wants to, yes, when we are doing number 1 to 4, let's just cover it here. When we are doing number 1 to 4, we are doing Adam. That's what I said. We are doing Adam. So of course Adam is 10, and when we are doing Mother Eve, we are doing 5. That means, did I check? Oh, we were doing 8. Sorry, I checked the numbers from, but if we added, just say we, in fact, let's do it this way. So if we add numbers 1 to 9, sorry, 5 to 9, well, 5 and 9, we see 5 and 9. So Mother Eve always say as well, pay attention to the last 2 digits. But that would mean if we did 1 to 4 here, that would also give us 5. And of course, 5 would denote Mother Eve right there, and we see 5, the number 23 in the middle, which is really telling us about the waters there. This is Mother Eve's nature right there in the middle. And of course 1 plus 9 there is also showing 1 plus 4 also showing 5. So that's something. But to add these numbers here, because we added these numbers here, which gave 23, which gave us 3, that would be 3 sevens. I'll just do it like this: 21 plus 5 is 26. So we had 8. So if we added 8 plus 9, that would give us 17, and it would still be 8. So that's what we get with the number 9. It always gives us, it gives you what, this is what perhaps is Mother Eve doing. Whatever it gives, you give to it, it gives you back or something. So it's 8. All right, so we have seen how 8 is 5 right there. So the 8, the 5, the mouth, which is Mother Eve, encapsulates the 8 right there too, as in the color red. So we can really say that here with Mother Eve, we could either be dealing here with the 8 or adding 5 here. If we added 5, like we always count on Eve right here, that would be 15. 15 would be very reflective right there in the middle. So this is where we have Adam here and as Mother Eve. So Adam and Eve. Adam is from 1 to 4 and Eve is right there 5 in the new, which is also Christ right there. Now if we added this, as we say, we have the number 8. And 8 is really right there in the mouth. Of course, we also, if we did the numerical value for the word 8, it equals 31. Of course, 3 plus 1, so is 4. So Mother Eve, let's see, we have 8. Yes, so that's just another way of doing it. But let's stick to 8. Let's stick to 8 right there. Let's not complicate it. So 8. So 8 plus 10 here is 18. Right. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9. So basically, Mother Eve and Adam is together. It gives us 15 or 9. So of course 15, there are two aspects to Mother Eve and Adam together. So in one case we get 15, they are 15, and of course that is 6.